Hi guys, hope we are well. Good afternoon. It is the 3rd of September 12:14. Just having a quick look at the euro, which is down slightly. It's sort of following that pattern the pound did, and the Aussie have done, where it looks a bit cleaner now, doesn't it? Where those previous lows are acting as resistance, and some good opportunities have come from that. Have we seen a bit of a turn now? I think from a technical point of view, just having a quick look at the support point below where we're trading, you're really going to want to see price finish, say, the week below, well, it's effectively today's S2. You can see here it's the bottom of that range which held price at the back end of August, coming in around sort of 117.75. We finished below there. I'd imagine a quick move down towards that 117 handle, where we also saw some incredible support from the back end of July into the middle part of August there as well. So a couple of comments from the last sort of couple of days from ECB members, to sort of half worrying about the exchange rate getting too high. Has that weighed on things? You would say yes, along with the fact that we have been grinding higher as well. So the dollar index has found some support and has been pushing on. In terms of today, where would that be wrong? Well, I guess you've got quite a nice resistance point here, 1, 2, 3 times on the hour, around 118.36 and a half. That would be me, well, the market getting above there. That would be them saying, okay, maybe we're in for a push to the upside. However, there are some very strong resistance levels which ultimately the euro dollar bulls need to see price above, like the 119 handle, which are quite far away. You can see on the pound as well, where it moved quite nicely yesterday. It's still sort of continuing that move lower. Be interested to see what happens if we do come back to retest this zone again around 132.85. Great opportunity there to have got short, and that's going to be the line in the sand going forward for me. To the downside, you've got obviously a bit of support around this S2, solid area of resistance previously on the 27th, before we did break through on the 28th. I'd be interested to see what happens when, or if, price comes to that point. And if it doesn't hold, 131.63 looks to come in a bit quicker. Aussie dollar, I mean, it's just looking like all the other currency pairs, isn't it, that we've just gone through. You know, the sort of find a low, comes back to then find resistance previous on that as well. So it'd be interested to see if we can confirm a break below this 73 handle, what happens when we do come back to retest it. I know it hasn't, well, it has broke, but you probably would have wanted a bit more on that. So keep a watch on there. To the downside, having a look at this on a longer time frame, you probably would want to see a daily close below this previous double top at 72.79 to get quite excited. At the moment, it looks like an attractive place to buy a dip potentially. Speaking of buying the dips, the S&P potentially coming down for one. I would prefer, just looking at this, if we could see price come back to 35.28, but that would obviously be a pretty big move to the downside. Above there, you've got 35.53 and 56, where I think that by the dippers we'll have a look at. We're just finding a bit of support on the pivot. To the upside, if that doesn't come through, a good enough line in the sand for me, 35.70 and 35.74 is a bit of a zone where I would say above there we get another all-time high. Quick look at the NASDAQ. You can see that is drifting lower. It did drift lower in the following the cash open yesterday, only to snap back into later trade. The pivot has given way just above there, 12,358. I'd be keeping a close watch on that as a line in the sand above there. Then I'd imagine we can look to push to new all-time highs. However, if that comes up and tests the resistance, a move lower would be how I'd look at that. S1, along with some support initially following the cash open yesterday and the previous all-time high from the morning of the 1st, will be a key level of support to keep a watch on. With a bit of dollar strength, gold has continued to grind its way lower. A couple of interesting lines in the sand. 1945 for me is where I would have one on, and just below 1928, and I'd really let price tell me what's going to happen. Above there, bullish; below there, bearish, and could even see the sort of the lower 19s come into play as well. Anyway, guys, hope you'll have a great rest of your trading day. Non-farm payrolls tomorrow, so just bear that in mind as we come to the latter part of today.